Hello everyone, it's Agi here, the skincare therapist at Silesiana and Nikolett. And today we are starting a series of interviews with other business owners, professionals, just to sort of spread awareness of on the positives and negative sides of running your own business. So today we will kickstart with an amazing professional skincare therapist, business owner who is so passionate about her work. So without further ado, here it is, Nikolett Vegh. Hi, Nikolett. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, wow. That's an intro. Thank you, Aggie. Thanks for inviting me.
It's good to have you here. I will have a few questions for you today, because you have been running your own business for quite a while now. And I think you are the best person to ask these questions. So to start, what inspired you to start your own business, Nikolett?
Well, so I've been in the beauty industry for over 8 years now, coming up to 9 years. And 4 years ago, I was fortunate enough to have this opportunity where I could open up my own place. And I think the biggest inspiration for that was that I wanted to make a difference in the industry. So working for other people, I think you perhaps know it yourself, your hands are tight. And my vision wasn't quite what my boss's visions were as such. And I wanted better results for my clients. I wanted a different result. I'm a quite curious person. So yeah, I think definitely that was my inspiration, wanting to make a difference.
Difference with your clients, right? And your business as well. So when you started your business, obviously you had your goals, your priorities, and has these changed over years, or do you still have the same goals?
Oh my God, no. The goals, first of all, I didn't have a goal when I first started my business. I just had passion.
Okay.
I had a lot of love, and I was quite easy to it's going to sound ridiculous, and part of me doesn't even want to say it, but I would even often offer the treatments for free because I loved it so much. I just wanted everybody to feel better and look amazing. And I just wanted to make everybody's life better. And that's where I started. That was maybe my goal, I suppose. And now, of course, I now have a business. I also understand looking after myself is crucial. That's number one, because I'm sure most of you guys that listen to it, and you as well, Aggie, you've been on an airplane before. If they tell you, that the oxygen mask comes down, who do you need to put it on first? It's always yourself, because without you, no one else can benefit. And it's the same with running a business. So if I give everything away for free, I'm running on an empty. So I had to change my goals. So definitely they massively changed now.
That is an amazing point, sort of thinking about yourself as well in the business, right?
Definitely.
Nikolett, seeing there's a big change in industry as well, and especially when it comes to skincare therapists, there are so many who are starting their business, and some of them will be working from home or being mobile and running from salon. What made you decide that you actually want to be established in a salon, so have actually physical store?
So I have actually started off in my kitchen because I finished the employment and I knew I wanted this baby that I've created today, but it needed cooking. It needed to go through a process of my vision needed to come alive. I had a vision in that respect of what I wanted it to look like. And I would say to you, I'm a visual learner. So obviously looks would be, I wanted to create a space that's attractive, but it needed time. And whilst I was doing that, I was also concerned about pleasing people. So keeping my clients happy, because it was 2 months, actually, to be exact, for me to create the salon ready to open. So for 2 months, I was working from home myself. But what I have noticed is I was always, my kitchen had to be immaculate. My room had to be nice, like as they walked in, I couldn't have had even a fluff. And again, I was kind of overworking and overwhelmed because I tried to I wanted them to look at me professional. I wanted them to see me for what I felt inside. But if my house smells like roast dinner, it's not going to be very professional. So the environment for me just wasn't right. And also boundaries were a massive factor too. When you're working from home, people often don't realize this is out of hours, in hours. When you have an actual physical premise, you set your opening times. And also, when you're working from your home, you can't advertise it on your front door. You don't have a signage, so you miss out a lot of that footfall, you know. But it also has the benefits, I'd say, you know. But for me, it was, I wanted a business and I wanted my home to be separate from that. I wanted to go home to somewhere where I could recharge, if that makes sense.
And you couldn't have fish and chips the day before, right?
Exactly. You know me, I'm Hungarian, so we cook with a lot of garlic.
I know how it feels, because that's exactly how I started as well, from back of the house. Nikolett, how would you say, how long did it take you to actually notice the success? Was that success from the beginning of the business, or is this something that you had to really work on?
Well, first of all, I needed to figure out what success was, because I think a lot of people misunderstand, and perhaps they are chasing a dream that might be someone else's dream. So if I see you coming across to me that you're like a, you know, multimillionaire, whatever, that might be what comes across to me as success. So I might interpret that and also start to form my beliefs and actions around that. So I was lost for a very long time, I'll be honest, because I looked at my salon, and although looking in, it looked successful, it looked amazing. But inside, I was like, oh God, so my accountant tells me we're making this much money, but then my account doesn't show anything on it. And you think, what am I doing wrong? Something must be wrong. And I believe success is when you feel aligned, when you feel free, and when you feel happy with whatever decisions you're making on a daily basis. That's what I call success. For me, it took, I mean, I've been in business as such as sort of self-employed since 2018. So it's only now, the past year, that's definitely made, since pandemic, I'd say, I've taken a huge accountability for some of the decisions I made. I think you need to have a reality check first, and then look at it, right? Okay, am I just being stubborn and holding on to something that I believe is successful? Or am I actually making something? And only recently I start to feel happy, aligned, and free with my decisions that I'm making. So it's only, I'd say to you, in the past year or so that I feel successful.
This is such a good point, Nikolett. I think what is success to you might not be success to me, and the opposite. This is really valued point. Nikolett, what are the qualities of a good entrepreneur? So what do you have to have in place, in store, to be that good entrepreneur? Customer service?
Wow.
Right.
I think, do you know what? We could sit here till the cows come home and really chew this up, because this is such a meaty topic. But I think, do you know what? You have to feel authentic to whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I think that's what makes a good entrepreneur. Whether that means are you a good businesswoman or not, that's another question. Yeah, you might have to hire people in to actually tell you how to run your business, because I find when I'm myself, I'm an empath. I'm a massive empath. So I'm on the lookout how I can fix people. But I had to work on it to be a good entrepreneur, because for one, you have to charge your worth. You need to understand what is it that I'm doing, what value I'm giving to my client, and also listen to that client telling you what is value to them. Because, you know, so many people I see when they start off, first of all, they become super cheap. They don't charge enough because they want to compete with the salon next door. But what they forget, you see, and I'm guilty of this. When I first opened, my prices were wrong, and this is why I didn't make money in the first 2 years, you know. But when you look at a salon next door, they've also did the same thing. So you're not just competing with them, but you compete with their competitors and their competitors. So you're really cutting yourself off. So I think to make someone a good entrepreneur, you need to cut out the noise and you need to get real with yourself. But I think it's got to come from a mindset. And I think that's, if I can give anybody one good advice, is work on your mindset before you work on anything else. The shiny object syndrome doesn't matter. nothing will ever be enough for you unless up here you did the work, because we all carry traumas and whatnot. We all can tell a story, but you deserve, the point is you deserve so much more than what you actually believe you do. And it comes from mindset. So I think you have to have a good mindset as an entrepreneur.
That's number one, isn't it? Nikolett, I see a beautiful transformation. I know you're transforming into skincare only therapist. What's next on your plate? Can you share the secrets with us? It's okay if you can't.
Yeah. So, I love sharing, because I believe sharing is caring. And also us as an industry, I find we are so much better and stronger together rather than competing. Like, I love the work you do, Aggie. You know that. I follow you. I look up to you. I respect you in many ways.
Yeah.
And I have and I have so many other female and male entrepreneurs, but I think mainly in our industry, we're focusing on female because it's just something seen like, oh, we need to be taught how to run our businesses, that kind of thing. But for me, right, so the biggest thing is that I made a clear decision. What do I want to do? And it's skin. That's what I've always wanted to do. But it's only now where I actually had the balls, as you call it, to go after it and just say, do you know what? I don't want to be known for everything. I just want to be known for that one thing in my area. That doesn't mean I'm the greatest in the world, don't get me wrong, but I here and now, with the current knowledge I have, I'm the best that I can be for my clients. But what's next is I'm constantly building on that. So I'm gonna evaluate on that.
Keep an eye on your social.
Yes. Yes. So I'm owning my stuff now, Aggie. No more apologies. And the one last thing on that one, I think, is I stopped comparing myself to others. And I think that's the biggest thing. So I'm now me. You're going to see a lot of craziness and woo-woo-ness, and that's the next thing for me. Yeah.
So would you say be aware of your circumstances, of your competitors around, but just mind your own business, sort of, right?
Do you know, it's good to be healthy in terms of like what's around you. Like, you cannot be oblivious. There are other on the street where I'm at, there's 7 other salons. But I don't find myself sitting here thinking, oh gosh, I wonder what they're doing and why are the clients, like, I don't do that. I appreciate every client that comes through my door in that time, in that moment. I appreciate that they chose me. Sure. And then it's up to me as the skin professional that I became now to make sure that the next time they come, it's not by default, it's by choice, because then they got to know me. They can see what I can offer,
And then you're able to help them. Nikolett, we've got final question. You answered already some of it, but is there an advice that you could give to a person who's just starting the business, or maybe someone who would like to be an entrepreneur but sort of cannot take that step further? What would you advise to them?
I personally think just go for it, but make sure you work on your mindset, because I didn't realize how many blockages I had. We all carry luggages from the past, but probably that's another post for another day. But I think if I had known what I know today, I'd be a millionaire by now. I lived in this country for 17 years, and I would have had totally different journey if I had known how much of the stuff I believed to be true wasn't even my own story.
Right.
So, and that comes from your mindset, because if I keep telling you you're silly, you're useless, you're this, you're that, you're going to eventually start to believe. So you have to make sure that you are, first of all, work on the inner self. But second of all, make sure that you look around you and declutter a little bit, and just the people that are in your circle, especially every day, that they are on the same wavelength as you. Otherwise, you're going to have a really difficult time trying to prove a point. You're not here to prove a point to anybody. Just do you. If you want to open a business, go for it, but just make sure you work on your mindset first, I'd say.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's not always work on your numbers and make sure everything is placed. It's your mindset first. That is amazing.
Well, if you don't know where you're going, how can you work any numbers, right?
Exactly. This is brilliant. Thank you so much for this interview. If anyone has any questions to Nikolett or to myself, please DM us, and we are happy to answer any questions. And thank you again for being here and giving us all these good points. Thank you,
My
Nikolett.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.